Taylos. Oh, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Today's topic is where your attention goes, your energy flows. And I was actually talking about this with my husband last night. We were, I don't even remember what we were talking about, which is a good thing, because he responded with, well, don't manifest that. Because if I cause attention to it, it might be created in my life. And yeah, so what do you guys think about this concept of where our attention goes?
I think it's absolutely true. It's so often you get focused on something. It's like, walking into a different room and you're like, don't spill this coffee, don't spill this coffee. And oh, you spill the coffee. It kind of triggers that fear mechanism in your brain, that sort of thing. I mean, there's so many different levels of this, but absolutely, like, not focusing on something you don't want or focusing on something you don't want is just more likely to bring it about. But it's a great tool because then you can flip it and, learn how to focus on what it is you do want and just bring that into your life. It's a very powerful tool on both sides of it.
Yeah. Is there any thing that you can remember where you had a lot of attention towards something that maybe you wanted?
Oftentimes, if it's something that you really, really want, you're going to focus your attention on it. I'm trying to think specifically. I remember just over last summer wanting a new car, wanting something newer, wanting and originally what I was focusing on was I was a little worried about the mileage of the old car, and there are different things that I needed to get fixed on it, and I was starting to worry, well, I'm focusing resources on something else. I really kind of was putting different things off, and I was starting to focus on the negative. I'm like, no, what is it I do want? And I actually went to just to kind of shake myself out of it and challenge some other areas. I went to like a car dealership and sat in a Ferrari just to really shake it up. And it's kind of funny because not much longer after that, my car was parked and got hit by a joyriders, and I ended up getting a new car out of it. So switching from the fear of the old car to, well, I do want a new car. And when I started focusing on I do want a new car, I started thinking about the type of car that I did want. And I realized, I wanted to go back to having a Toyota. I really enjoy having a Toyota. And the other car I had was, it served its purpose, but I really enjoyed certain features of the Toyota. And yeah, that just that whole process is, once the car got hit, then it's like, okay, I started looking at Toyotas, and that's what I ended up in. It's just really, you just need to focus on what it is you do want. Absolutely.
Yeah, what keeps coming up for me is my experience this Christmas, New Year, just gone. And I think most people would be aware that in Australia around that time we had some pretty horrific bushfires. And my local town got hit pretty bad on the Friday, the 20th of December. And we had 86 homes burnt to the ground. The next day, we had a group of 5 people standing on the footpath talking about, what can we do? Like, people need help. They don't know where to go, who to turn to. And it was just, hard to watch. And within 2 days, we had teams of people working around the clock to offer assistance, and having all those people focusing all their energy on one result, which was helping the local community. We managed to engage 350 volunteers. We raised and supported over $900,000 worth of resources to the local community. And that total amount was all in a fortnight period before the government stepped in and did their disaster relief. So yeah, when you focus your attention on something like that, it's amazing what people will do and how far they'll go, and what can be achieved. It's just absolutely remarkable. So yeah, when you say where your attention goes, energy flows, I can certainly say firsthand I've witnessed that and how remarkable it is. So.
You know, that's cool from that perspective of it, because from this perspective, like you would post on that, and I remember watching it, and at first it just seemed like, wow, just the information of the fires, but you always maintain that really, really positive outlook, and you would always focus on what you're talking about. You would post about, you know, donations made, and you know, I think at even one point you had to turn away some donations or something because it was just so overwhelming, and so many people wanting to give. And I remember watching that and just you know, feeling joy for that, like that the community was stepping up so much. So it was really, you know, it's a devastating event, and the way that you brought energy to it, and it sounds like a lot of the people around you, it really just focused that positive energy toward it. So from the outside, it could be felt as well. That was a really remarkable time.
Yeah, we ended up filling 3 community halls worth of donations, and it's hard to tell people, sorry, we can't accept your donations anymore, because they want to do their part to help and offer their assistance, and you just logistically can't take it all, you know. We shuffled that stuff around so many times, and we ended up a few people set up like a supermarket style. They set up aisles and aisles of stuff in different categories, and people would just walk down and pick off what they needed. And yeah, it was just phenomenal.
Yeah, really the power of focusing attention is just beautiful. And that's in every area of our life. It's so easy to get caught up in when something triggers that fear mechanism to look at what you don't want. But really, when you're focusing on that, that's all your mind's going to try and reinforce. If it's in a fear state, it's going to be on the lookout for more things to be afraid of. So instantly, like when you get in that fear mechanism or you start to worry, I don't want this, that should be a trigger in your mind to say, okay, pause. I just triggered myself by saying, I don't want this. Okay, what is it I do want? And it's hard when you're caught up in that. But if you start to train yourself, that's a cue for me. Oftentimes I'll go, what's the opposite of that? Just to get out of that mindset and then focus on that. And if that's something that you just can't do, it's just a time to do something to change your state. Go for a walk, talk to someone, you know, and just to help shift your attention, because really you focus on that negative, you're going to bring more negative into you. If you can learn how to switch it and start focusing and take all of that energy that came with it into the positive, you'll have amazing results, like what Taylos was able to help manifest there and bring, you know, help the whole community and all their energy together as well.
Yeah, the question I think of often when I'm facing fear or something uncomfortable is, what is in my control? And then from that answer, then planning or rehearsing whatever needs to happen that's within my control. So one of the things I think about a lot is my relationships. And so there's fears and, you know, uncomfortable scenarios sometimes with certain relationships. And how do I go about dealing with them or having conversations to turn, you know, the relationship another way. And so a lot of that attention will go to what is within my control and what I can do, and say, and I put a lot of attention there, and almost always it is, the scenario turns out totally different, not even close to what I was rehearsing, but even better than that. I couldn't have even anticipated it, just because I put so much energy in that direction.
That's awesome.
I think a simple one is also, I've noticed when I'm busy and got stuff to do, the phone tends to ring a lot more. You know, when you're sitting around twiddling your thumbs going, geez, I could do some extra work right now and no one's calling. But as soon as I get busy, it just rings off the hook. It's like, really, people? Really?
And then you just bring more to you.
Coming together. Yeah. You know, if you want something done, give it to someone who's busy.
But you know, it's so like, it's so true. Like the other, like, you know, that, and then like different things where like you start hitting successes too, you know, like something breaks through and suddenly it's like piling up and you're like, yes, that's awesome. You know, it's really powerful that way. Yeah, good stuff. And sometimes you can even call it, once you get used to it and expect it. I mean, expecting things is really important in manifesting as well. So when you notice stuff like that, then yeah, welcome it and just expect more of it and just start open. It's like opening that flow. So when it starts coming, just start expecting more goodness and let it flow into your life. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a wonderful, masterful morning, everyone.